Making the perfect lobster roll at home can be intimidating, but have no fear. With my help, you'll be a pro in no time. I have all my ingredients ready, and this guy is going to be the best lobster roll you'll ever have. I'm taking some celery and I've just washed it. I want to chop the celery into these small dice. We want it in really small dice so the celery is just a part of the sandwich, but it's not dominating or fighting with the lobster. And then I've got some mayonnaise in a bowl, and we're going to flavour this mayonnaise with a small amount of white pepper. White pepper is much sharper than black pepper, and a small amount of cayenne pepper. That adds a little bit of spice to this. I love to add tarragon. That anise bouquet goes so well with lobster. We need some brightness, and that's going to come via lemon juice. It's always good to squeeze a lemon through your fingers to catch any seeds. Now that we've got the ingredients together, let's just give these a whisking, and this could be made a couple of days ahead of time. I've pre-cooked my lobsters. You can either steam your lobster or you can boil your lobster. I'm going to break off the claws of the lobster. Next, we're going to take off the tail, just grab it and give it a twist. I'm going to pull off those legs because there's a lot of meat in those legs, believe it or not. Press down on the shell. And then we're going to remove those end pieces, and that really helps us get all of the meat out. Now feel free if you want to use some kitchen shears to help cut through the shell, or you could use a knife. I'm just opening up the shell and I'm going to pull out that perfectly cooked lobster meat. I'm going to cut down the back to make sure I can remove any of the bloodline. So just checking inside to make sure anything that's there, we're going to remove it, just pulling that off. And now we've got ourselves some delicious lobster tail. I like to cut this in half and then cut it into these large pieces. I love a lobster roll to be nice and chunky. Now when it comes to the claws, I like to take the back of a knife, give it a bashing on one side and give it a bashing on the other side. And just remove that little bit of it sticks. Now just give that a gentle pull and look how easy the claw comes out. When it comes to the knuckles, I usually use a chopstick, but you could use a skewer at home just to poke out any excess meat, just snapping the claw on the joint. If it's tough, you can just take your knife and give it a bashing. And then once again, using the chopstick or a skewer, you'll be able to push out that meat. See how easy it comes out. Now don't forget, don't throw away these shells. You can freeze these shells, and when you want to make a lobster stock or a shellfish stock or even a lobster bisque, these shells are perfect. Now those legs, now watch how we get the meat out. Using a rolling pin, start at the end and you press, and that meat is so sweet. Just using your rolling pin, the meat comes out so easy. It's a wonderful trick that I learned from a great chef. All of the lobster now is basically ready. You can see the meat looks fabulous. The shells I'm going to freeze for a rainy day. I want to show you how to make pickled onions. Pickled onions with this lobster roll is a game changer. I add salt, a bay leaf, some star anise, black peppercorns and sugar into a pot of simmering water, then stirring it to mix everything together. I'm going to add the red onion to the water with the spices and bring them up to the boil and let them cook for 2 minutes. And then we remove them from the stove and then we've got pickled onions. I like to check the meat just in case there are any shells that have fallen in. I'm going to add some celery to the pre-cooked lobster, and we're going to add some of that wonderful mayonnaise that's got the tarragon in there and the white pepper. Give this a stir around. You want just enough to coat the lobster. Always toast your roll. I've toasted it with some butter and I'm adding some lettuce. Be generous with the lobster, because who wouldn't want a well-stuffed lobster roll? Take some of those pickled onions and place them on top of the lobster meat. And there you have what I would say is one of the finest lobster rolls you ever have.